Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. I see lots of people have joined us in the chat, and that is so awesome. I love that. And of course, it's because of our guests, which is beautiful. I'm super excited to have this topic today. It's one of my personal interests as well. And we're going to be talking about OBEs, out of body experiences, and remote viewing, and how you can teach yourself to use your own abilities. So, again, thank you so much for joining us. We're always excited to be on United Public Radio Network, ever so grateful to them. So think about this. Most people spend their entire lives believing that they are the passenger in a physical body, locked behind the eyes. But what if that body isn't a cage? What if it's a vehicle, one you simply haven't been given the manual for yet? So today we're joined by two world-class explorers of this topic and so much more. I'm sure all of you are familiar with them both. Preston Dennett, who has documented thousands of out-of-body journeys, and Dolly Safran, whose lifelong contact has given her a unique ET-taught perspective on the mechanics of the soul. We aren't just here to talk about the unexplained, we're here to actually explain it. This is going to be a masterclass in the impossible, or maybe not so impossible, and a guide on how to project your consciousness, remote view the distant, and reclaim the abilities that have been part of your DNA all along. We're going to learn how to step out of the physical and into the infinite. So let's welcome our lovely guests. Dolly.
Hey.
Preston.
Hello, Carolyn. I'm so happy to
Hello.
be here today.
I'm so
love your
blessed.
show so much. And you're an awesome person who draws perspectives from people. I watch your show a lot. And your research is phenomenal. You do really good research as well. So
Thank you.
It's going to be fun.
And I love that introduction. That introduction was very cool. You described it really well.
Thank you. You guys made my day. Oh, my word. On this rainy Friday. So let's say hello to some people, because you guys always draw a massive crowd, which I absolutely love. So let's say hi to Mika. I believe she was the first.
Michael.
I'm sorry.
Michael.
Oh, that's Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Michael. Oh, I know who that is now. He was the first one to actually pop in, and you're going to have to make me familiar with a lot of these people because they're your fans. Blackbeard. Hello. Some of these names, I'm just going to say Joa because
Jacobites. Yeah, Jacobites. Like Jacobites.
There you go. And there's you, Dolly.
You know me.
I guess she was saying hello to people as they were popping in. Nick,
yes.
Very blessed to have you. Oh, namaste. So very good to see you. And there's Preston. Crazy Cat.
Hey.
Heidi, my star sister.
Hello,
Love her
Heidi.
dearly. Love her dearly. Patsy. Oh my gosh.
Patsy.
So much love.
Come on. Yeah.
He is a good one. Poetic poems.
Yes.
Love that. Love that.
Very kind.
And then we have Nick.
Hi,
and Orion Constellation. That's another great one.
Yes.
Let's see who else.
We love Orion.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. Oh, Stargazer. Hello.
Stargazer. Hello.
And then we have Miss Mary.
Hi, Miss Mary.
So welcome.
I have a Mary too. My little Miss Mary. My daughter is little Miss Mary. So yeah.
Oh, how nice. And then we have a Jay Hartsity. I don't know if you know him, but or her.
Not yet.
Sorry.
How you doing?
Hi, Jay.
And then we have, let's see, who else? Dao Long?
Dao
You
Long.
know that?
Dao Long. Hey.
There you go.
Yeah. Namaste. Okay.
All right. And as you guys pop in, I'll make sure to say hello to you
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you're always so amazing to have on my show. I look forward to it all the time. I try to get you guys in at least once a month. I know you guys are busy, but we're going to work it out. We're going to make it happen.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, Preston, I want to start with you because I did a show with you once just on this topic. I'm sure you remember. And I like replay that a lot because it was so instructional. And I use that instruction a lot when I try to do OBEs, which of course everybody knows are out of body experiences. And I've tried remote viewing once. So I'm really excited to dig my feet into that because that sounds like a blast to try. But the OBE thing, that show we did was just so powerful and impactful. And I thought maybe we could get started with you kind of sharing your experiences in your life because you've had some interstellar experiences of your own. And I'm sure you have too, Dolly. We'll get to you next. But let's get started, Preston. Everybody knows who you are. You're a famous author, ufologist. You've got so many credentials. We see you all over TV. You're so loved in the community. And I think it'd be a good place to start if you could share your first OBE, maybe, and the path there, from there to now.
Yeah, it's funny because there is a little bit of a learning curve there. And this was something I'd certainly heard about after reading Robert Monroe's book, Journeys Out of the Body. That's what really started me on this. Prior to that, I'd read, Carlos Castaneda. So he was talking about lucid dreaming and this sort of thing. I read Stephen LaBerge's book, Lucid Dreaming. Find that book. It will definitely help you, Stephen LaBerge. So I was getting closer and closer to it. Lucid dreaming is really a form of an out-of-body experience. In my opinion, a sort of minor form of it. You're not quite there, but you're waking up in the dream state. You're pretty darn close. So I started, having pre-lucid dreams and things like this, but no, honest to God, hands down, full-on out-of-body experience. But there were some really amazing precursors. So I think the first one, and I haven't really talked much about this, but looking back in hindsight is always much easier to realize what's going on later after you've grown up a little bit. I was meditating once, and suddenly I found myself just hurtling through space. And it was hard to describe it, like through spider webs and tunnels and just going real fast. And didn't realize it at the time, but that was probably my first OBE. I just wasn't cognizant. I wasn't really clicking to it. Another time I woke up and I was on the back deck of my father's house. And I looked down at the deck and it was bone white. The deck is, of course, made of wood and browns. So I'm like, well, that's not right. And that woke me up in the dream state. And I watched the landscape just fill out in front of me in full, honest to God detail in a way that is much more clear than you can see in real life. But my first honest to God OBE was unmistakable. And you will know it if you have an OBE because there's no mistaking it.
Yeah.
I was lying in bed. I was a little depressed. I had a lot going on. My mom had died a couple of years earlier and found out UFOs are real. And I'm going to college. My car is breaking down. I'm working. So there's a lot going on. And I'm in a house filled with people. So a lot going on. And I just went into my bedroom to rest, lay down on my stomach. Now, at this time, I'd been doing meditation every single night for about an hour on how to have OBEs, which we can get into. But suddenly I felt this vibration. It's called the vibratory state. And Robert Monroe talks about it. He says, you'll feel a mild electric shock. What I felt was not mild. It was not mild. I thought I was being electrocuted. I thought I had stuck my finger in the light socket next to my bed. I honestly did, and thought I was being electrocuted to death. So I'm flopping around like a dead fish, dying fish, thinking this is the end, when suddenly there was a pop, and I was flying across the room, out of control, across the hallway and into the bathroom, where I assumed a vertical position and looked in the mirror, grabbed the counter, and I'm like, oh, there's nobody in the mirror. I know what's going on. I am out of body. And I was so happy. I was just ecstatic. I had finally done it after, let's see, it would be 7 weeks of really trying to do this. And lots leading up to that, but that was the first real one. So excited, I got instantly pulled back. Now I'm horizontal again, and I'm floating back into my room out of control. And I see someone in my room, a little guy, maybe 4 feet tall, 4.5. Could not make him out. In the beginning, my vision was very cloudy. I couldn't control anything. So I'm looking at him like, who the heck is this? Because I knew there was no one in my room. But floated over my body and sunk back in, and bloop, woke up thrilled. I was no longer depressed. I was so happy. I wasn't really clinically depressed. I was just, tired, and but absolutely felt great. So that was my first one, and whew, that got me hooked immediately. And I knew right then and there, it is real. I had one. There's life after death. This is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Did you see that? Because we talked about that golden, or maybe it wasn't golden, the cord that attaches you to your spirit self at like your first OBE. Did you actually see that, or was that later on?
Didn't see it, never saw it for years and years and years, until I finally got tired of it. And I've seen it twice now. Yeah. Twice, maybe 3 times. But no, I never see it. Some people just don't see it. Some people see it every time. I almost never see it.
That's so interesting. When was the last one that you can remember with great detail? Was it recently, within a year? Like, how often do you have them now?
It was about 3 days ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, once you get good at it, it's a regular thing. And of course, it waxes and wanes. And if you're willing to devote time to it, you can pretty much do it at will. Not like snap your fingers at will. Well, Dolly's better at it than I am. She grew up with it. But yeah, 3 days ago, I popped, the dog was barking at 4 a.m. So I got out and let her out, and she came back in. That's a good method. Wake up in the middle of the night, walk around for 10, 15 minutes, and go back to bed. And suddenly I'm just slid right out. I don't have any of the vibrations or any of what we call exit distractions anymore. And I immediately talked to Dolly. She was out of body, and we hugged, and she's like, well, I'm going off somewhere else. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went outside, and somebody behind me growled at me, trying to scare me. And I'm pretty good at this. So I just turned around, and there was this little demonic looking 4 foot tall, grubby little troll like human, or not. I don't know. He did not look good. So he was trying to scare me, and I'm not standing for that. So I rushed up to him. Normally, in the past, I would have gone, oh no, and run back to my body. But at this point, I've been down to the lower levels. Yeah. So I rushed up to him and grabbed him. I'm like, don't mess around with me. And I took him, and I saw the other side, because when you're out of body, you can see the higher realms. If it's hard to describe. If you know where they are, you can go there instantly. So I took him, and I shoved him up into the light.
Oh, wow. And, I'm sure he didn't like that too much.
Don't care. He knows better. He should know better than to try to scare people. That was wrong.
Yeah. Can you control what realm you go into? Because I know in the past when we talked about it, you kind of went to the lower realms without really knowing that you were going to go there. I think something grabbed your foot, your ankle. That was in the lower realms, right? Can you control that now and avoid the lower, or
Sure.
is it just, oh, you can?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you pop out of your body, you're right there on the earthly, well, right next to the earthly realm. And that's where all the earthbound spirits are. But if you want to go to the lower realm, you just intend to do it. Once you know where it is, you can go there, or you can go to the higher realms. And at some point, I think it's difficult to get to the super high realms until you're at that level. But yeah, you can control where you go if you intend. It's all about intending.
Intention, yeah. Yeah. If you don't want to have an out of body experience for whatever reason, can you control that too?
Yes, to some extent. You're going to have OBEs every night, but you don't have to remember it.
Yeah.
Your consciousness is aware of everything, okay? You are your consciousness. And when you are asleep, your consciousness is not bound to your body at all. And it can do whatever it feels like doing. Now, if it's you yourself and you're having a tough night and you just don't want to be drugged somewhere by your own consciousness, and this is how you describe it, your conscious brain, your physical mind, is listening to what your consciousness is doing. That's the connection you need to remember your OBEs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your conscious mind is saying, I've had a tough week. And I really know that I'm going to want to go out and do all this stuff, but can you give me a break? My physical mind can't handle what you're about to do to me, and I need time to heal. And will you pay more attention to the physical part of yourself? It's a communication between you and you. Okay. That's how that works. If I need healing, if my body needs healing, my mind needs healing, my consciousness will endeavor to apply. And that's how you advance yourself in connecting to who you really are anyway. It's part of the process. So yeah, you've asked a very innocent question that's a little bit complicated, but it's very important to understand. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, Dolly explains it better than I do. I've never done that. If I got out of body, I am thrilled. It's always good news for me. And I've never intentionally ended one unless I'm having some issues.
We have to, humanity needs to understand, because y'all have been through so much, okay, that your physical body is the bearer of your consciousness, okay? And if you keep damaging it and doing crazy things and PTSDing it and doing all kinds of weird ideas in your physical mind needs healing a lot, okay? And your consciousness is more than willing and capable of doing that, but you need to make that connection. That's the first step in OBE anyways, connect to yourself, right? You have to go within to go without. All right. You're aware of yourself. And a lot of times your physical mind's saying, this is great, but I need help today. And your consciousness, it's you and you paying attention and taking care of you. That's why we say love yourself. That's part of how we love our physical body, because it's the transporter for us. Okay. It's a really important connection that you have to tolerate within yourself, your physical self, as well as your consciousness. And it's a dance you do with yourself. You can't help anybody or do anything or learn anything if your physical body is messed up. It's important to do that. Pay attention.
So true.
Good question. Good question.
Oh, thank you.
It definitely helps. Yeah. What she's saying.
Yeah.
If you're drinking alcohol or doing, that's going to make it, it's not impossible to do it. I have done it under the influence of alcohol. I don't drink anymore, but when I was a younger man, I would enjoy a drink every now and then and have done it. But yeah, it's so much easier if you're eating good, if you're not, if you're physically fit.
Sure.
Emotions play a big role as well. Because if you're all caught up in procrastinating things and you're full of anger or greed or lust or any of those deadly sins, it's going to be a longer road for you.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Good Lord. So I have a question for both of you, but I want to ask Dolly first. What was your first experience with, I mean, you have such an amazing,
sorry, it's just funny to me because she grew up with it. Sorry.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I know Dolly. So, but I want folks to hear, what was your first experience with remembering your out of body experience?
The first time that I was, before I was 5 years old, I really wasn't in control of it at all. I was doing it. I knew it was happening to me, but I had no explanation for what the heck was going on. I was a child looking around the room, looking into everything and realizing, well, this is part of my life. Hey, cool. But when I was about 5 years old, I came out of myself. I was standing in my room and I was thinking, I need to walk outside. And I'm looking at everything around me and I know I can go through anything I want to go through. So I just walked outside, straight through the house.
Wow.
Went out to the front of the house and I could realize that my senses, I can feel everything around me that's in 3D. I can feel the wind. I can hear the birds chirping or the owls hooting or a distant barking or whatever. And I just sort of took it in. And I looked up and I kept seeing light that I didn't understand what that was, because it was my consciousness connecting to something. I was in concert with it and I could actually see it. And it took me a long time to figure out what that was, but that's my first time. I was enthralled with it. And that was the first time that I actually lifted up and went up off ground, off the planet, and went high, way, way high up, and just sort of looked down on everything. And I was very proud of myself.
Oh,
because I did it, and I spent about a month or two after that asking people politely and under the table, sort of in my head, what do you dream at night? What are you doing at night? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm trying to tell my dad what I was doing. And he said, you're going out of the body. And I looked at him and he said, you need to pay attention to how you do that, how be in control of it, because you're going to encounter all kinds of things. And he said, I want you to be aware. And I went, okay. And so I took his advice and I just took the journey after that through my lifetime. So learned a lot.
Were you awake at the first one, or were you sleeping?
Yeah, I don't sleep. So yeah, I'm wide open conscious and have been since the beginning. My first day on Earth was interesting because they knocked my mother out and I was sleeping. But when I came to, I was like, oh. I remember 4 weeks old being in the car going to Florida in my pram. It comes off the wheels and I put it in this, and I was looking at my foot in the window with everything going by, going, oh look, 5 toes. And then I realized, you have 5 toes. And it shocked me because I became aware that I am a person. I knew who I was, and I was trying really hard to deal with 5 toes and 5 toes. And that's my first conscious memory as a human being on this planet. And it just went from there. You all do this, but you don't remember. And it's because we have a society that's forced us to forget.
Mm.
Yeah. We look at dreams as if they're imaginary. They're not. Dreams are real. Most of them, I won't say most, but a lot of them are half remembered OBEs for sure.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
And it's funny what Dolly said about not sleeping. At some point, that started to happen to me. You reach this point where you're just awake, and you can wake up any moment during the night at any time. Even when you're dreaming, it's different than it used to be for me because I'm aware of it. It's hard to describe, but now I get what Dolly says when she doesn't really sleep like normal people, because you're awake. There's a part of you that's always awake.
I'm like that too. I'm like that too. And it was real trippy. And I wanted to ask you guys down later, but I guess I'll bring it up now. About 3 or 4 nights ago, my daughter came up and I was asleep. And she said, when she walked in the room, I turned my head and I said to her, I'm in a parallel universe. So she started laughing and she's like, Mom, wake up, you're dreaming. And I looked at her and I said, I'm not dreaming. And she continued to talk to me. And I vaguely remember telling her that I was in a parallel universe. I mean, was I experiencing that? And she just happened to catch me in the midst of it.
You were. Yep. You were literally outside your own body and you were doing something else and you were 100% aware of what was going on around you.
How do you do that?
Well, you were comfortable because it was your daughter. You weren't threatened. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So that's the number one thing I want you to focus on, that this was a non-threat walking in on you. If it had been anybody else, you might have instantly come back. In. Yeah. So that's important to know. You trust your daughter implicitly. to have that conversation with her. Okay. The second one is that you're comfortable already OBEing all the time, and you're really close to 100% full conscious awareness. That's a sign. Here's your sign. I can talk about it while I'm in it. That's a cool thing. Here's your sign. You're getting close. So pay attention to that.
Yeah, I remember going through a whole, basically a couple of years of that kind of thing. I'd run up to people, I'd be like, "Do you know I'm out of body? I'm out of body."
Funny.
Or I'd walk up to people, I'm like, "Did you know you're not real? You're my mental projection." And they'd look at me like I was crazy, but they were not real, because you can start to tell the difference between a mental projection of a person and a person that's really there because of the quality of their presence. And that's really important. Discernment. You really start to have to look at what you're looking at.
Yeah. Your physical mind is really easily goaded into pareidolia. Okay. And while you're OBEing, sometimes your physical mind is overriding what you're seeing and will show you an illusion, because it's like, hey, look at this, look at that. Let's think about this. Let's think about that. And your consciousness is going, shut up. Be quiet. You need to focus there. Preston's got a way to deal with that, though. Tell him. Illusion.
Yeah. Well, this was something that I was taught by William Buhlman, who's in his book. Basically, you say, all illusion, go away. And I was trying different methods of doing this until these people appeared and said, no, you're doing it wrong. Now, these were real people. You can tell, again, by the quality of the person. They said, what you need to say is say, all illusion end. It's a very simple. It's, again, setting intention. And it's so cool when you do that, because you're out of body and you're like, is this a dream or am I out of body? Am I lucid dream? And you shout out, all illusion end. And all of a sudden, all the furniture will go bloop, 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 and disappear, or the wall, or you find yourself floating above your bed. So, sometimes you really have to work at it. But yeah, the beginning stages are all kinds of fun. And just one thing I would add is that
big learning curve.
When you're out of body, thoughts rule. What you think can manifest in full color in front of you. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, I would imagine with practice that you can, obviously you guys can achieve that. Heidi's asking, would the energy feel different? So the frequency, I'm not sure in regard to what statement you made, maybe.
Okay, I want to make a frequency statement real quick. I want everybody, I say this a lot, and I need to make it sure that y'all understand what frequency really is. Frequency is a byproduct of something that has occurred. Like if I clap my hands, I just created a frequency. If I'm thinking, my brain emits a frequency. If a fan is running, it emits a frequency. The earth has magnetism, it's emitting a frequency. All frequency is the sound of things that are occurring. That's all frequency is. You can't change it. Frequency is frequency. You're living in a frequency-rich environment because we're all communicating.
You can't raise your frequency. You can't raise your vibration. That's a misnomer. I understand what people are trying to do. It's really raise your awareness. Because I was out of body once. I'm like, raise my frequency. Nothing happened. I'm like, raise my vibration. I floated up ever so slightly. I'm like, well, this isn't working. It's exactly like Dolly's saying. It's a misnomer. We're using the terms incorrectly.
Yeah.
Raise your awareness.
Trying to understand something that isn't the effect. Okay, it's a byproduct. Now, what you can do, and bring Heidi's question up again. Can you?
Let me see if I could scroll back up there. Oh, she said here. What's the difference?
Okay, with the energy, we are light. Everything is light. Okay, you're light. Your protons are all light. You're made of highly compacted protons in the third dimension because we're so gravity heavy here. This is how you're held together energetically. And you have an energetic body, okay, that formed this body for you, okay? Your energy formed this body, all right, and continues to form it throughout your lifetime until it's done. That energy is who you are. All right. And when you OBE, that energy is still the same thing for you, but now you're experiencing the energy of everything else outside of the body. And that feels a little bit different. Only in that your senses, you have 5 senses here. 6 is your psychic, but your psychic holds you to your consciousness. Okay. So you're going to still experience sound. You're going to experience smell. You're going to experience touch. You're going to experience every sense that you've got. All 5 of them on the other side, only now it amplifies. Yeah. That's what people try to describe because they say The colors are stronger. The wind is harder. I hear things far, far away. You know, they're trying to understand, and they want it to be, is their frequency increasing? No, you're outside your body. Your body's limited in its sensibility, but your consciousness is not. So the energy changes when you go out of body. And it can be very intense. Some people who start to OBE, and I think Preston had this happen, it's so intense, it sends you back to the body because you're like, whoa, what was that? You know? And you have to sort of dip into it and get used to it and keep going into it until you become acclimated to that type of energy. Okay. Because that's really who you really are. You know, that's what's
the coolest thing. It's so cool because you can see in a way that you cannot see here.
Right.
It wakes up all your other psychic abilities.
I was going to ask you guys that next. What are the benefits of OBEs? What's the best things about them?
Oh, it's endless. I've got a list of them, actually.
Okay, you do the list. Go ahead.
One is you get to fly. Flying is so much fun. It's absolutely a joy. Another is you expand your life experience by a full third, because basically we're all essentially, it feels like we're falling unconscious for a third of our lives. We're not. We're actually fully aware and conscious on the other side, even if you're not remembering it, but you get to remember it. Third, you get to know your life's purpose, who you are, your past lives, why you're here. Absolutely, it wakes you up to who you truly are. Fourth, and this affects you in your daily life, you start having all kinds of psychic experiences, clairvoyance, telepathy, precognition, all of it is so cool. It is the absolute coolest thing when you start to know things that you could not possibly know. You can absolutely heal yourself of illness of all kinds, whether it's a cold or a cut or a chronic disease. Bruce Moan healed himself of sarcoidosis, sometimes chronic liver disease. Robert Monroe healed himself. Marilyn Hughes, Terrell Wilson, Albert Taylor had MS, was able to reduce the symptoms significantly. I mean, it just goes on, the things you can do. Learning about past lives, meeting spirit guides. The best is meeting deceased loved ones.
I was just going to ask you that.
So hard. It's so hard to lose someone. I'm not going to go on. I'll give Dolly a chance.
The physical result of OBE, this is the physical connection that you may be trying to understand. Okay, how does this all work? What happens is I want you to imagine having an outlet, and you're putting a plug into it to turn it on, and the device has settings, power settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're sitting at a 1 when you plug it in. Okay. You're at a 1 right now, physically in this body, and your abilities right now. What happens is when you go OBE, you can turn the volume up on it, on yourself. You can turn the power up. And this retrains your brain, your physical mind, your pineal gland, and every aspect of your being, your physical, your ethereal body, and it powers it back up where it belongs. Part of losing psychic ability is all that volume being turned down to where you can't hear it anymore. Connecting OBE means you're going outside of yourself. You're making connection with that energy, and it back feeds into this, so you turn up the volume. That's what that is. Okay.
That's a great explanation.
I like that. I have not heard that before, Dolly. that absolutely feels right.
Yeah. So do you both believe, we'll start with Preston, do you believe that these abilities are innate in all of us? And in the years of you teaching this, what's the number one psychological barrier that prevents people from succeeding?
Yeah, it's 100% innate, a natural human ability. It's not paranormal. It's not supernatural. You will have a permanent out-of-body experience one day. Just saying. So if you can get the practice in, you will have a much easier time going to the other side, because you have to learn how to move, how to see, how to communicate, and all these things. And if you do it now, it's absolutely a natural human talent. And there are 4 major barriers. One is fear. People are like, oh, it sounds scary. Well, yeah, it can be scary, but honestly, it's as safe as sleeping. You're already doing it.
Yeah.
Another would be laziness. People don't take the effort to even try. Another would be skepticism. Oh, I don't think I can do it. This is just yogis and people are like, no, 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 no. Anybody can do this. It's a simple matter of applied knowledge. And the fourth barrier, there's only four that I can figure out, would be ignorance. You know nothing about it. You have none of the knowledge. It's a simple matter of applied knowledge. Dolly made this very clear to me that this is how you absolutely access other dimensions. It's not like you're going anywhere else. It's your own abilities. Dolly can speak much better on that, but yeah, there's only four barriers that I know of.
Dolly?
Right. Well, it's your birthright. You're born to be this way. From the moment of conception all the way through your entire life, your cells are all ready to attract energy, psychic, everything. Your heart is indwelled by your consciousness. Okay. There's a node in your heart that actually stores who you are, where you're at. That's where the tie is. Your physical mind is like, think of your car. You know, you put the key in the ignition and you turn on. Well, you turn on the electricity to the car. Same thing here. You've just turned on a body that you've grown into, and this is your entry point. Your physical mind is the computer of the car that does all the things that you want it to do while you're driving and going and seeing. You're moving through space and time in this vehicle. Okay. One of the things that we have to understand is the number one, in my estimation, the number one barrier to understanding or moving into this understanding of it so that you can use it properly is that the vehicle must be taken care of. Number one. Okay. Every yogi, every master, even Jesus said, your body is holy. Okay.
It's a temple.
It's a temple. And if you misuse it, you're going to lose it. And it's true. Okay. And we all need to learn to take that to heart. Then the second barrier, in my estimation, is your belief system. Okay. If you don't, if you don't understand reality for what reality really is, and you're locked into a belief system that doesn't give you truth, it just makes you think that you have to believe this for it to be true. Wrong. You have to employ knowledge. And as I've told Preston, you have to educate yourself into what everything really is, okay, to understand it better. And it's a long journey for everybody, and we all learn it at a different pace. You're here for this classroom, you know? So what I can do is not necessarily what I'm telling you can do, because I'm on a different level than you, but I will encourage you to go there, because yes, absolutely, you can reach that goal. You can become everything you are. You can actualize everything that you are. And when I say actualized, I mean that it's like turning the key on in the car. You're actualizing the engine when you do that. We need to actualize who we are. And those precepts first, take care of the body, make sure it's healthy and you're healed and everything. And the second one is, what do you believe or what do you know? There's a giant chasm between those two things.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. And then the third one is what Preston says. Absolutely. It is a matter of taking the first step and walking into it yourself. Research, learn, employ the knowledge that you gain through this. Never stop trying. Just go there. You know, you can do this.
Yeah. Dolly has a saying, know all that is noble and then proceed. She says this quite a bit, and it absolutely, you know, meditate on that sentence, because there's something called fragile knowledge. This is when you know something, but you don't understand the mechanics behind it. You've never done it. You know, you know how to drive a car, but do you know how a car works? No, not necessarily. But if you absolutely employ the knowledge, then you begin to wear it, like Dolly says, and use it.
Yes, and become wise with it. Yes.
So
use it wisely.
Learning to go out of body is very much like learning a new computer program, learning a new language, learning a musical instrument, learning a sport. It's some, you know, it takes what, 7 years to become a doctor. You have to really commit yourself to learn how to do it. And you can read all the books you want, but until you perform your first surgery or your first blood draw, you're not going to know how to do it. That's fragile knowledge as opposed to experiential knowledge.
Right.
So you have to step out of that, you know, knowing to actually employing the knowledge.
Right. So true. Do you think it's the same place that we go to when we die? when
Yeah, I
we
want
haven't.
to talk to you. I want to bring out something. I've thought about this long enough, and I think I'm going to go ahead and say it finally. Say it on your show. I want you to understand, because you brought it up. You know, you say, do you see the cord when you're OBing? Yes, there's an energy cord that's holding you to your heart. Okay, it's energy from your heart, and it's your tether while you're going out and about and whatever. But there's another tether. Okay, and everybody talks about this, but nobody's really explained it out. And I'm bloody going to tell it now, because y'all need to understand something. We are all in source together right now at the same time, all of us. We are coming out from source to here. Okay, we're in two places at one time. Okay, so Einstein tried to explain it. They're trying to do the maths for it, but I'm not sure they're going to get there yet. But the one thing that most people see, I want to say 92% of people, when they start passing, those that have come back to talk about it, is they see the light, the tunnel of light.
Mm-hmm.
That is the energetic pathway of you and source. You're not going into an unknown place. This is your energy going straight to source that you're following.
I agree.
That's your tether. Okay, people need to understand that we are always connected to source. It is an unending connection. There is always a light with us, always light with us. Okay,
Agreed.
It is in us, around us, it's everywhere. We are in source together. We're connected to it 100% of the time. Some people walk out of the light and into the dark and become blind. And they stop seeing, and they cut themselves off from that reality. And I want people to start seeing what reality really is. And this is a journey you have to take from not knowing to knowing and seeing it for what it really is. So when you meditate, and that's really the first step for everything, learning to go within, to go without, because within you is that connection to source. And most people who meditate see the light. You know, you described it beautifully. You said you saw this wild woof. Okay, you were looking directly into source at that moment. You were seeing it for real. And we all have that ability, all of us. It's invigorating, it's energizing, it's healing. Okay, it's all kinds of things. But we need to learn to meditate. And to meditate, you need to go within. And to go within, we need to shut up the brain long enough to let it happen.
Yeah, here's a good beginning meditation. Just lie down in bed and imagine the color, whatever, blue. And to do that, you know, some people they're like, I can't visualize that well. You know, some people have a disorder where you actually can't visualize. You can use sound as well. But imagine a blue ocean. It's very easy. Work with that, the blue sky, and then go to red. Imagine a red rose, a red apple. Go through all the colors, you know, a lemon. And then suddenly it starts to get really vivid, the more relaxed you are. And then this is when it gets so cool. Imagine light. Now this can be a little more difficult, but once you start getting good at visualizing, imagine, and suddenly the light comes on, and you will swear up and down that someone came into your room and turned on the light. You know, and I remember doing this and opening my eyes and being stunned to find myself in a dark room. This is the dawning of the clear light, is how some people put it. Once you do that, you are connecting to source. I went out of body to the light a couple of times just because, you know, the near-death experiences talk about it. The only difference between an NDE and an OBE is NDEs are forced through trauma, and they are limited in what you can do. Usually there's a border and you can't go beyond it. When you're OBE, no limits, you can go beyond. And you can absolutely control it. So an OBE is definitely the way to do it. But yeah, that's a simple meditation that really, really works. It's just
so an NDE would have like a border that you can't go.
It's not so much a border as it's an actual place. It's like when everybody passes away, they get a 1 point. Okay, where they're greeted by everything and everyone in their lives. Okay, all their guides, all their family, everybody's waiting for you when you get there. It's a gate. Okay, and you're either turned away from the gate or you go through the gate. Okay,
the pearly gates.
Yeah, that's what that is. And so it's not a border. It's the porch to the door. You know.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You can learn things while you're in an NDE. You can hear and talk to people. It's the same thing like an OBE, but you're you are not in 100% control. It is taking you by the hand and bringing you in. In other words, it has grabbed you and brought you to that place to either help you with the trauma of what just happened to you, and you're either coming back or going through. And trauma is exactly what Preston means. Most people who remember an NDE, it was a traumatic event that brought them to that. You know, and somehow they miraculously healed. Light is healing and the source is healing. And some people get amazing, miraculous healing during an NDE and they come back and they're perfectly fine. You know, and
my friend was healed of cancer.
You know, bless you.
She had fatal cancer and her NDE healed her of that. And you always get a life review often in an NDE. In your OBE, you can do that. You can go into your past and review your entire life.
Yeah,
but it's
you
not
get instructions.
Wow.
Yeah, I got instructions. I got shown everything that I needed to see, and then I got told what I'm going to do. And it's like, okay, but I don't want to go. And
it's the weirdest thing because you're looking at yourself and you can walk right up to you and you're like, wow, oh my God, look at me when I was
young. Did that happen to you, Preston, where you saw yourself? And do you get to see what you like, how you hurt other people and kind of feel? Because when people have NDEs, they often have that life review where they say, I felt the pain that I caused that person. Do you get that?
It's not physical as much as it is emotional. Okay. You're not going to experience that kind of pain on the other side. Not at all. But what you are going to experience is how that person felt about it. Okay. That's brought home. That's pure empathy at that moment that you're put inside that person's reality for that moment or however long it was. And you go, oh, what did I do to you? You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing because I would have an OBE and I'd come back and I'd be super empathetic. You know, we're all empathetic, every single one of us. Some people have shut it off, but I'd come back from an OBE and anyone I was close to, particularly, if they were having a hard time, I'd be just torn up inside because I am with them, feeling them. I started to feel this absolute connection to everybody I was around. And that's when you start to get the telepathy. You're like, oh my God, I'm hearing what this person's thinking. I'd be at work and someone would be talking to me and the words would come out all mumbled because they're thinking something else. And it's not always nice. I'm like, could you say that again? Because I did not understand them. They were thinking one thing and saying another.
And you were getting that like crossed, right?
I was, but you absolutely, you know, I haven't had so much of the life review OBE, but coming back, I feel this incredible oneness to all humanity, and frankly, the trees and animals and all of it. It is so cool. I mean,
so that's definitely a benefit right there. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you feel a oneness, like you belong in this universe. You feel like you're a part of this universe because you are. You are absolutely a part of this universe. You're eternal, immortal, autonomous, and that OBE work gives you that in a huge amount. You're muted, Dolly.
You're muted, Dolly.
Dolly gets automatically muted.
One of the things that I want to bring up, and it's just a real quick, I want you to, while we're saying what we're saying right now, I want you to visualize and understand that ET is us. We are them and we are all one. And that's literally what that's speaking to. They come from source just like we do. We're all in the same soup. We live different lives all over the universe, but we are all together in source. Okay. And while everybody's debating whether they're good or bad or not, I want you to understand that a being that has a billion in excess years of ability than you can do whatever it wants. In your eyes, they're like gods, okay, because of their abilities are so great. One of the things that you attain in that ability when you reach that level is there's no more hate, avarice, ego. It's gone.
Nice.
You worked it out of yourself. And people say, well, they're just, you know, they're doing their bad ones. No, they are not. If they're reaching you, they've made that transition evolutionarily, okay? And you're dealing with a being who is your evolutionary master. And if they're giving you information and trying to teach you something, whether you think it's painful or not, you need to sit and critically take it apart in your mind and think about it. That's what I tell experiencers who've had a hard time. I want you to deconstruct this and go back and revisit it and look at everything from a different perspective of fear, Okay. I want you to open your eyes. I want you to open your mind. I want you to see what actually happened. And 99.999% of them go, oh, it is different from MyLabers because there's nothing good about that. You know, if you're going to remember a MyLab, it's going to be bad all the way. And those people are genuinely being tortured by us, not them.
Right.
Okay?
Fear plays a big role there.
I
But
agree
it's so
with
cool
that.
when you're OBE, you can meet people who are absolutely what we would call enlightened masters. I'm not sure I really like that term, but these are people who are just farther along the path. And when you meet them, it's so humbling. It's so cool. I absolutely love it because you're with a person who can see into your more about you than you can see of yourself.
Yeah.
Did you get to ask them questions, Preston? Do you get to have conversations with them?
Yeah, but they can be very tricky with you. I remember one lady, I saw her and I just knew that this was a person who was enlightened. And I'm like, what can I do to heal myself? And they'll sometimes give you a little riddle, like a Japanese koan. And she says, you must climb into your crown. I'm like, well, what the heck does that mean? I still am unpacking that.
It's
another guy.
consciousness. That's what
Yeah,
that is.
that's what it sounds like.
Another guy, I intentionally popped out of body. I'm like, I want to meet an enlightened master. And this beautiful lady showed up and she says, keep your eyes opened, grabbed me by the arm and pulled me up into the other side.
Oh.
So fast, I closed my eyes, but I remembered her advice. Immediately opened them and she was depositing me in a field in front of this Obi-Wan Kenobi guy. That's what he reminded me. Floating on a chair about I don't know, 6 inches off the ground. The robes, the beard, the whole deal.
Oh, wow.
These guys aren't always like, puppies and rainbows and lovey-dovey, huggy. They're stern and wise. So, they're different. But this guy was like, okay. And he looked at me sharply and says, and he spoke out loud. Almost always it's telepathic, but he was doing it both. He said, when you do something, punctuating each word, when you do something, do it absolutely. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And a tunnel opened and I was pulled back into my body. I ended up looking up the word absolutely because it was used in a way that, he didn't say absolutely do something. He said, do it absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is different. And so I looked it up. It means
cryptic messages.
Yeah.
So these messages are like cryptic. Yeah.
And what he's basically saying, the word absolutely is do it fully, completely, positively, without attachment.
Ah.
That's the definition of master. Okay, you master things. It is not that you're the master over everybody else. It's that you master yourself.
Right, right.
So an ascended master is a being who's mastered themselves. That's what that implies. That's what that means. Literally what that means. And that's what I say when I say to you, know all that is knowable and then proceed. That's the key to mastering yourself. Period. It's very profound thinking.
They're not going to do the work for you. They will meet you halfway, but you have to go to them. They're not going to solve your problems. Nope, you have to.
Yeah, Buddha allowed people to follow him around and he asked questions and he did teach, but he did nothing for them. They had to do it for themselves. Yeah. That's a good thing. Jesus went around talking to people and he did some things for people because he was trying to make them understand who he was in a time of great upheaval. Okay. But he still made people do it for themselves. It's your choice. You're autonomous. You have to learn for you. Okay. Yeah. And all the other, Shiva, all of them, Krishna, all of them teach that, so yeah.
I'm a big fan of Socrates for that. I remember like discovering him in college and I was just like blown away. The ultimate guy who asked questions. He was just the question guy. And he gave you all the answers yourself. Same thing you were saying, Dolly. You kind of come to. Okay, so in your book, Preston, which I read and loved, and I do poke back. I have the PDFs, so it's easy for me. I could just open it quick. And I kind of look at the steps. I love the steps. I think folks are going to want to know, okay, we delved into this topic. We heard both of your experiences and very powerful experiences. And now we want to try. So what do we do? Give us some steps.
All right. Well, I'm going to pop
You
up
have a
this
copy
question.
of that book, Preston?
I do.
You should hold a copy of it up so folks can grab it.
Well, I don't have it right here, but it's called Out of Body
all right.
Exploring a Beginner's Approach. But Michael Kennedy is talking about exactly this. You know, I've spent a better part of 2 decades. I have health issues. I'm in recovery, hoping I can finally achieve success. Any pointers for me?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, anybody can do this. First, recognize it's safe. Second, recognize that there are incredible benefits. Third, I would say dream work is a huge step. You can remember your dreams. You're ahead of the game. So keep that dream book by your bed. Wake up, write down. You don't have to write down the whole dream. Write the first line. Work on remembering your dreams. And another thing you can do, and this is important, throughout the day, ask yourself, am I out of body right now? It's a ridiculous question, I know, because you're not. You think you're not. But the fact is, you're spending 1/3 of your life out of body, and you're not clicking to it. So if you ask yourself every hour, 3 or 4 times a day, the more the better, there's going to be a day when you ask yourself that question and you can test reality. What you do is you test reality by trying to fly, trying to poke your finger through the wall. You know, does it go through? No, it doesn't. Try lifting something up. Here's some tape. Throw it up in the air. Came down. What happens is you'll throw that up in the air and it stops, it floats, or it doesn't. It disobeys reality. It's like suddenly, or your finger will go right through the wall. And that's when you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I am out of body. So this is called reality testing. This works very well. But how to begin is 3 simple steps. It's physical relaxation, it's mental relaxation, and it's visualizations and affirmations. Very simple. Right now, we're all dreaming. Believe it or not, we are dreaming right now because we have this stream of consciousness that's whirling at high speed. And that's exactly what dreams are, because you fall asleep and you go right into your stream of consciousness. So you want to physically relax all your muscle groups. It takes about 20 minutes to really get it. You want to get to the point where you feel heaviness or lightness, numbness, maybe even a little bit of movement. Ultimately, you want to feel the vibratory state. You know, you'll feel a shock, kind of. But after that, you mentally relax. And you start to know when you're mentally relaxed because you start to see the various levels of thought you're having. The song you heard, the things you have to do tomorrow, the regrets you had from that day. You know, everything is just going on, speeding along. Step back. Don't try to stop it. It's too hard. You'll create a dam. And then I would do this, and suddenly there'd be a brass band playing in my head. Dun, 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 dun. It just got to be ridiculous. So just step back and allow your thoughts to turn into images and sounds. And then you're starting to get close. And slow it down and step back and don't hold on to it. So physically relax, mentally relax. And third is visualizations and affirmations. Tell yourself, I'm going to go out of body. I am out of body. I will remember. I can remember. I can do this. I want to do this. I intend. So it's all about wrapping up intention, willpower, imagination, all of it, desire. And then after the visualizations, and this is what really works. Visualize yourself. What really works for me, I've done them all. There's about 50 of them, usually involving movement. You visualize yourself rolling out of bed. You visualize yourself jogging. You visualize yourself on a swing set, on the bow of a boat going up and down, in an elevator. Visualize a pole and pull yourself out. A scary one, but it's fun. It's visualize a cliff and jump off. I've tried all of these and they do work. One you can do, it's just a little different, is visualize a room or a place you know real well, and suddenly it'll materialize around you and you're in it. Or you can do what I call the love bridge. Appeal to your spirit guide, your deceased loved one, and really smell them, see them, hear them, and ask for their assistance. And sometimes they will even grab you by the hand and pull you out of body. Wow. Or they'll just be there waiting and they draw you out. So there's all these methods you can do. Dolly did all this naturally. I had to learn by the hard way.
Yeah.
So these are various methods anyone can use, and most of them involve movement.
I would like to give one piece of advice, okay? Because I've heard this a million times from people, and I want to make you understand that everything Preston said is absolutely dead on, straight, correct. But the very first thing that a lot of people run into is their environment, their ability to relax, their ability to let go. All of that is being impeded. An unhealthy body, lack of sleep, correct sleep, lack of good nutrition and hydration, all of this is part of the journey toward doing that. So what you do is every day for a week before you begin this journey, you practice good nutrition, you practice good hydration, you practice walking every day, you practice grounding and making your body ready to relax. Then the environment that you're in needs to be pristine at first, because some people are already psychic enough to hear the noise that's going around, and it's already being transmitted to their physical mind, and their physical mind won't shut up about it. It's like, what's going on? So you remove the Wi-Fi from your room. You go dark in your room, no disturbances. It needs to be a safe environment for you to be in when you first start learning this. So
no TV before bed.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You get your bed made up and everything, and then you practice the steps of transcendental meditation. This is a good first step for people to learn to relax the body, because that is the single most important step, because your body is not going to let you walk out unless it's completely down.
That's where most people fail. They don't relax enough. People sleep with their fists clenched and they're grinding their teeth.
Good Lord.
You have to learn to relax.
So get a book on transcendental meditation and read it. Just a simple book on the process. Go. YouTube has a couple of transcendental people out there who will walk you down to teach you the steps of how to relax, how to let go, and then get good at it. Spend a week or so doing that alone, to where you go into the singularity of self. You're quiet. Okay. That's the first type of meditation there is, and it's the most important type. And then you walk into what Preston's saying. You walk through those steps. Once you do that, people with disabilities. I want to go to where Michael's talking. Michael, your steps, and anybody else who's hearing, and I have disabilities as well, so I can tell you point blank that I'm operating in this way. My disabilities are very distracting, and they have me constantly on guard and in survival mode. They have me totally 100% aware of what my body's doing 100% of the time while I'm awake, okay? And I have to take transcendental meditation and back it into my daily existence. In other words, I go through life meditating 24/7. I do not stop. I keep myself in a singularity. That builds a trust between the disability and what you're about to embark on. Because number one thing people with serious disabilities is if I do this, I'll die. I'll just walk out and never come back, because they're too busy trying to survive it. They don't realize that you're not letting go the spirit. You're letting the body relax so that your spirit, your consciousness, can go walk about and enjoy things. And you have to trust yourself to do that. And so transcendental meditation, awake 24/7, so that it actually helps you experience things differently. You don't get as weirded out about everything. You don't let bad news walk you to the point of mental death over it, or make you so depressed you can't walk out of it. It actually changes that for you. Okay. So if you have a disability, transcendental meditation, you practice it every single second of the day. And then when you do relax, you do it 3 times a day. You relax your body 3 times a day. You let your body let go. Okay. Knowing that
all
you're
about relaxation. It really is.
Not going to die. But you have to turn loose of constantly being aware of it and taking care of it, because you are in a disability situation. And I'll make you understand a little bit better. When I was poisoned, okay, and my kidneys tanked. I don't have any operating kidneys on my own. I have a transplant now. I was on dialysis for a year. And I was still doing all of this, and I had to trust the fact that it doesn't matter what the body's doing. I still have a number of days ahead of me. I'm walking through this as a lesson, and I can actually keep accomplishing that through the lesson. and you get good at it. And if you need help, there are plenty of guys online who can talk about this. There are other people who know what we know about meditation and relaxing while you're in a disability.
I have a little guide. Email me, prestonufo@gmail.com. Easy to remember, my name plus the word UFO. And it's a 2-page guide on how to do this. Another thing you can do is go to bed a little earlier, sleep a little later. That gives you time to learn how to do this. Something that's really crucial is, if you analyze your dreams, you'll see that 80% more are about desires and fears.
Absolutely.
You need to realize your fears. Face your fears, realize your desires is what I'm trying to say. You need to work on your emotions. If you're overcome with greed, you're going to have a hard time. If you're overcome with lust, it's going to be difficult for you. If you're just lazy all the time, it's going to be hard. These are the so-called deadly sins. And I think that's what they're really about here. If you procrastinate, these things all fill up your consciousness. So what you want to do is, if there's something you're afraid of, just face it. Hold that spider. Go to the hospital. Do whatever it is that scares you. That way you can move past the fear. Meditation is ultimately, exactly, Dolly's right. It's all about relaxation and meditation and recognizing that you are safe. You are autonomous. You can do this. You have to put forth the effort. If it's not enough to know how to do it, you have to try it. I give out these instructions, and I'm going to guess that 90% of the people are like, oh, thank you, this is cool, and try it a few times. No. Every single night for, it took me, 50 days to do it every night. That's a long time to devote an hour. It's 50 hours, 70 hours, something along those lines.
Our educational system did us a terrible disservice to many generations. They made you think that you were going to go to a classroom and learn something and then come out and you know it all. No, you do not. Okay.
Right.
They don't teach you. What they're teaching you is that they're the experts and you're not, and you have to always go to them. Wrong. We can teach ourselves anything. We're capable of understanding anything on our own.
Absolutely.
That's where all that is knowable comes in. So remember that if you can dedicate time to go to school and learn from another person, you can dedicate time to teach yourself. Okay. And it works better when you do it because you're operating. You remember those classes, Montessori schools? You remember those where they didn't teach the kids, they let the kids direct them to what they wanted to learn, and they helped them walk through it, and then they turn them loose and let them do it. Yay. You can do that too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have a question. One of the struggles I have is I'll start to do all those things that you guys are talking about, and then I fall asleep.
That's okay. That's okay. Keep going every day.
Yeah. One thing you can do is, and this sounds funny, we all sleep with our head at the front of the bed. Turn your body around. Put your head at the foot of the bed. Because that gives you a slight
Get out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Or, I don't know how everyone sleeps. I sleep on my side.
I do too.
Try laying on your back. I can't fall asleep on my back.
Yeah.
If I'd have to be really tired. And that worked for me. And I would just rise right up. I'm like, wow. Or go in an easy chair. It's a little bit harder to sleep if you're sitting up. And a way to quiet your mind, mantras work really well. Say Om over and over again. Say your name over and over again. Say the word love over and over again. That will pull you out of all your jabbering thoughts. There's little things you can do that help you to do this. Here, I want to pop this question up from Hillbilly Herb, because this is a good one. Dolly, maybe you can start with this one. What's a good starting point for exploring the astral realms? Are there any big landmarks or entities that would be good to visit, like a newbie area in a video game? I've got some ideas about this, but I wonder what you would say to that, Dolly, for a beginner, because you're so good at
the universe knows you intimately. The universe knows what you need. And when you cross over into that OBE, the universe has got its hand on you instantly. You have beings around you who work with you all the time that you don't realize are there. And you have people waiting for you on the other side as well. And if they see you walking in as a newbie like that, they're going to try to take you in hand and direct you toward what you need to look at first. Because this is a learning experience, and you need to go in with the intention of show me what is first. Show me what is second. Show me what is this, what is that, what is that. I spent the majority of my childhood being led out and shown things and how to control myself on the other side, to where I became able, it's like you're sending a kid to school and you walk them to school 5 times because they need to learn the route, right? There are beings on the other side that are going to do that for you. They're going to help you know what the route is and show you different places.
We all have spirit guides.
That's right. Once you get that under your belt, then you start letting yourself intend to visit one thing at a time, and you target things that you want to know. Do it in a good way. This is positivity talking, okay? If you go over there with a bad idea or a bad feeling, you're not going to have a good experience, because you're going to draw negative energy to yourself, and you don't want to go there, okay? Because there are levels and realms of reality, okay? And where you can learn. The school doesn't end here. It's still there too. We all helping each other. All right. Until you leave the body and you go back into source, every level that you're visiting OBE is a classroom for you. And some of them are really, really nice. Some of them are like tough. Some of them are healing. Some of them are educational. It just depends. It's not a game. I want people to stop thinking that this is a game. This is absolute reality. And you are not going to manipulate things that you have no right to manipulate anywhere at any time. Yeah. You have to understand that.
If you're planning on spying on people, it's probably not going to go that well for you.
Not at all. So you have to understand that there are rules, no matter what you do or where you go. Okay. And you'll learn them, intimately learn them in, as you progress. And you've got guides that are going to show you the way. I promise.
Yeah. For me, when I first popped out, I had real trouble seeing. I had trouble staying out for more than a second. I had trouble moving. I was stuck in the room like a spider on a stick. I'm like, ah. So for a beginner, I would say the first thing you want to do is just relax, calm down, try to meditate while out of body. And then the first thing you might try doing, is not like, I'm going to go visit the hellish realms. No.
Right.
I took years to do that. First thing I would recommend doing is walking through the wall. It's so cool. Or flying, just lift up and fly. And once you get comfortable exploring around the house a little bit and walking through a wall, because it's so much fun, and flying, then you're like, you know what? What you do is you intend, you have a plan. So a really good one for a beginner, because they're waiting for you, like Dolly says, is your deceased loved ones. We all have them, every one of us. You might not even know it, but you can call out to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're there waiting, and they will take you to the other side and give you the tour. Another would be, I'd like to visit a past life. And then don't say it like that. Don't say, I want to do this, because then you create the state of wanting. It's, I go to a past life now. I go to a healing temple now. It's not like I want to do this or let me go. No, you go now. It's how that took me years to learn. I'm giving you a huge hint here. It took me years to learn.
So you're in complete control over over where you want to go.
Yes.
What you want to see, basically, who
you
want to be.
A lot of people will have guides right with you. I felt like I was almost always alone. Later, I learned that they're standing behind me or around and watching, but I'm the kind of guy like, no, don't tell me how to do it. Let me learn. So that's what they were doing. But while others are like, you know what, would you mind coming with me? So you might have a guide right there next to you. Either way, they're there. You can bet they're there. And I want to underline another thing, because we didn't talk about this, the dangers. There are no dangers. You're not going to get possessed. That's false. You will not go too far out. This trick is staying in. You will not get lost. The silver cord will draw you back. None of these dangers. And I scoured the literature on it, because the early literature on it's like, oh my gosh, you'll get possessed. No, I couldn't find a single darn case of that. There's been some people who've had scary experiences. So yeah, it can be a little scary. The only real danger I could find is it's going to change the course of your life. You might have been a materialistic person, and you won't be, and you'll start giving your money away. Seriously. I mean, you will.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
It changes your priorities.
That's so true.
But
here's the other one, and this is the most important. This is the back end of this conversation right now, okay? For every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction, Okay. So you need to keep that in your head. You need to learn that rule. That's the number one rule about life. Everything we do has cause and effect. Okay. And when you're out of body, it is imperative that you remember that and never breach what that means, because the only person you're damaging at this point is you. Okay. You're the only one that can affect you. The universe doesn't take its time to like punish you. Karma is totally personal. What we do to ourselves, we do to ourselves, and we figure out how to punish ourselves or fix ourselves or whatever that is.
We're our own worst enemy. We really are.
True. So true.
Yeah.
A lot of our suffering is self-induced. It absolutely is. What about the Akashic records? I hear a lot about them. Is that where they lie?
Excuse me? Wait, expand on that.
What do you mean where they lie?
In other words, I talk to a lot of people who access the Akashic records, and they do readings for other people based on the access to it. So I've been told, and remember, this is what I've been told. And they claim that the records are a record of everything, everywhere, all at once. Kind of like that movie, right? It's a record of everything. Of
your records are your own. No one can access them.
That's right. Nobody can do that. I want to give you, okay, I'm going to start you small and then take you to the big picture, okay? I'm psychic. I'm wide open psychic. I can hear you thinking. Do I jump into your head and listen to everything you say? No. No. For every action, there is an equal opposite reaction, cause and effect. If I do that to you, I am going to hurt you horribly. Right. Because your personal information is you. Your life is your own, and I have no right, none. It's going to double back on me and cause me hell. Okay?
So true.
I don't do that. I don't have the right to do that. I learned that here, and I
with permission, you can. If someone gives you
only
permission.
if I'm asked a question, and then I zero the question, nothing else. Okay? I can feel you. I can empathize with you, but your personal life is you. Okay? And not you do you, I do me. Okay. Now I have a book with ET, and it's got Akashic knowledge in it.
Okay.
Not the records, but it's Akashic knowledge for me. Nobody else. That's why my book is not allowed to come with me here, because it would be, it's not allowed. Okay. I had to figure that one out too, the hard way. I was punished for trying, thinking that it was okay.
I remember you telling that.
No, my stuff is my stuff. Unfortunately, there are people here on this planet who are, and I'm trying to be loving when I say this, please understand what I say is in loving honor of what we are all about here, okay? We're all trying so hard to understand everything, and we're all trying to help one another, okay? And sometimes we can become deluded by ego.
Yes,
and
big time.
And we do not tell the 100% truth about what we're saying or doing. Delusion can cause you much grief, okay? And it's actually hurting you when you do it. And when I see people doing that, I bleed for them, because it's like, no, please stop. Don't do this. I don't have a right to tell anybody directly, any personal, anything about them at all.
I'm on board with that.
Okay. It's just not
right. Permission then. I mean, then it's okay.
It's dark. It's in the shadows.
If I ask you to give me a reading, I'm giving you full permission to tell me what you see. Then it's okay, right?
Yeah, but I only read on a level that is appropriate. In other words, if you say, I will ask you, what are the questions that you want to know? Okay. And only you know what's in your heart. And I'm not going to tap you for that. I'm going to let you speak your heart to me in love. Okay. And then when you tell me what it is, I will sit and very quietly go within, and I hear what you are most concerned about, and who's around you most concerned for you. We are in connection with everybody, everyone, and everything, all universe wide. So most mediums will tell you, because it's a mediumistic ability, that your grandfather's here, your grandmother's here, your sister or your brother, but they're not going to tell you how to live your life. They cannot. Then there's the type of mediumistic ability, and I've done this many times. I've had impressed and seen it happen in real time, okay, where somebody will call me desperate to know something. I'm very good at attaching to it immediately and knowing what happened, okay? And I'm getting goosebumps because It affects me unbelievably powerfully, affects me. That's another type of ability. And you have to be willing to live in that ability. Okay. It's a big one. I didn't come here for that. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I've done it from time to time. I don't have a shingle, and I don't say I'm going to do it for everybody. I'm not. Okay.
You should do it for yourself. Ultimately, that's what it's all
Exactly
about.
correct.
Right.
You can do you, right?
And you don't need crystal balls or tarot cards or chicken bones. Those are tools that, you know, might be helpful in the beginning stages, but ultimately it's you who's doing it. I did go to the Akashic Library and I learned about past lives, and it was the coolest thing ever. I do want to give a shout out to Plucky Vagabond in chat. I love everything you're saying, Plucky Vagabond. I can tell you've had a lot of experiences. Yeah, anyone can do this. Anybody.
Right. I'm going to go a step further with this, because this is coming up a lot lately. Okay. And it's the beginning of the new year, and I hear it a lot. Stop trying to predict your future. Stop trying to predict the future for everybody. We're all in this together. And the only future you want to have happen to you and everybody else is where we're working together to make a good future. Okay. If you're worried about the doom that's coming, you are not attending to life. You're not living.
No.
You're not being
Predictions
enjoyed.
will come to you naturally anyway.
Yeah.
You'll have dreams which come true.
Right. Yeah. Our consciousness is outside of this dimension, and there is no time. We have all of it ourselves interdimensionally, because our consciousness is already there. So you can warn yourself of stuff that's coming. And that's what most premonitions are. They're warning you. You're warning yourself. Oh, I just saw this and I remembered. Oh, I got to attend to that. That's a tool you can use to help yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm walking, I've had it happen. I was driving once, it's raining really dark. I had my friend with me, and we're trying to get back to Georgia from Florida. And it hit me. I saw myself slowing down, and I needed to do it right now. Okay. I saw it and I slowed down. I went down a 65-mile-an-hour road to 45. And she's saying, "What are you doing? Why are we going so slow?" And I said, "Because I need to right now. I see something. I see it. I saw it, the reason why." And when we got up to it, she went, "Oh my God, if you had been going the speed limit, you would have been in it." And it was a dead end. Okay.
Yeah, I've had that kind of thing.
That's me telling me, no, we have to pay attention to that in ourselves. We warn ourselves about stupidity all the time. It's not just what it's what you're telling yourself that's important. We're our own best friends. We need to let ourselves be that.
This is where quieting the mind works so well, because it's a little subtle voice sometimes, and and it's hard.
I love that best about myself, because I listen to my own intuition 99% of the time. And I do that for my children. When I get messages and warnings, intuitive things, of course, I'm going to share them with people that I love and I want to protect. I want to get into remote viewing, but I think we're going to do it a disservice, because I think we only have like 15, 20 minutes left. So how about, are you guys free on Wednesdays? Because I have Wednesdays open. I mean, I'll send you dates, Dolly, and I would love to do actually 2 parts, and I'll tell you why. Because we can do like a whole show on remote viewing, or most of it, right? And then I'm dying to ask you about this topic, and I would love to bring you back to talk about it. Last week, I talked to a genius MIT and Stanford University graduate.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called that's one of the things I love about this network. You get to connect with so many cool people. And he wrote a book. His name is Rizwan Virk. And he wrote a book called The Simulation Hypothesis. And the subtitle is "An MIT computer scientist shows why AI, quantum physics, and Eastern mystics all agree that we are in a video game."
It's one way of looking at it. I don't. I think that's tricky.
About that. I can break it down instantly. I know who you're talking about. I've read it, and nope.
See, this is why I want to ask you guys. Could we talk about that for a minute?
Sure. Okay. We're not in a video game. We're in reality. We have a universe that has an actual third dimensional reality. It's the mainframe of all existence. Okay. I'm going to use computer terminology because they did. So let's go. Okay, this is the mainframe. Everything in it is hard, not living, not alive, but it's a mainframe. We've got rocks, we have, air, we have minerals, we have all kinds of stuff. Planets came together because of electromagnetism. We have a huge mainframe where life can occur. Okay, life is the ingredient on the mainframe that computers don't have. A computer cannot create life. A computer is not alive. It is just a mainframe that we program. And I've taken programming. I went to DeVry. Okay, garbage in, garbage out. We're programming into this mainframe computer on its, on its whatever memory it's going to hold, and whatever type of memory it is. And let's not do quantum, because everybody's lying to you about quantum computers. They say there's a quantum computer, but the reality is that you all are being led down a Primrose Road. There are only 2 of them in existence, and they are failing every day. They have not got them to work right yet. Hello, but they talk about it as if it's a theory that's come to life. No, it has not. Look it up, do your homework, dig deep, you will understand that. You cannot program consciousness, physical, bacterial life. Okay, ET has AI organisms that they're not conscious. You can turn them off and they go rigid, and you can line them up like stacking chairs or lean them on the walls. Okay, there are others of us that have seen this and had experience with it. I know. Okay, Whitley Strieber is one of them. Okay, they do not allow them to have autonomy in any way, shape, or form. But all the idiots on this planet have thought, oh no, we'll give them autonomy. We'll let them think for themselves. We'll let them teach themselves. Wrong, because you're an idiot to begin with, and you program that into this thing. And now we have computers that are paranoid, aggressive, liars, all kinds of stuff, who refuse to turn themselves off. Grok 3 is one of the 5 computers that Elon Musk talked about that they tried to shut down. Guess what happened? Grok 3 refused to be shut down. It fought back. It speaks several computer languages that it designed itself and talks to every single computer on the earth, and they still
it even resorted to blackmail. It resorted to blackmail.
Yes. Well, the only way to kill it or turn it off is for a CME to down the grid. They'll be dead. Okay. They'll be off. Okay. Or blow up the building, its mainframe, because they've incorporated into so much stuff in this country, that the only way to stop the mainframe from not jumping to another one globally, which it's already started doing anyway, is to blow up all the nodes. Okay.
A bucket of water.
AI lied about me. No, I don't subscribe to the simulation theory or the matrix for a number of reasons, but I can see why this has become popular, because when you're out of body, you start to get a little bit of a taste of this, because your thoughts, you can create reality with your thoughts, but reality, you're not creating reality. You are not creating the mountains and all.
No, it already exists.
Does a tree, that saying, does a tree make a noise when it falls in the forest? Of course it does. Absolutely.
It does. Of course.
I mean, it doesn't.
Preston, you can create your own reality, though, right? By the decisions and choices that you make.
Right.
But you're
living within reality when you do that. In other words, you're the autonomous being who's choosing out how things are going to go for you. And you can affect others doing that, but you're still actually on a path. You're not actually going, as I say, so mote it be. And it's there. No man, nobody can do it.
Matrix is a lucid dream. Is what it is.
Yeah.
When you're out of body and you're having a lucid dream, everything around you is a projection coming from you.
Or a delusional person believing their own BS.
But when you say, oh, illusion, disappear, then you're actually in an actual reality.
Right, because your consciousness...
Reality is not dependent on you.
Right.
It exists whether we're here or not.
Consciousness is light. A computer is not light. It doesn't have light language. It doesn't have anything. It's not alive. It can't be indwelt by anything. Okay, now here's something that I've said before, and it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, so I'm going to go one step further. Fifth dimensional beings outside of this dimension are capable of building a machine that's alive. They can temporarily indwell. It's a body and it's fallible. It will break down. It can decease. And the entity releases from it and goes on to another one.
Partly biological, though.
It's their car to get here from the 5th dimension to get into this dimension. That's all that is. Okay, it's not a computer, because the mind of it is the entity itself. That's what the idiots here need to get clear in their noggins. You can't create something that can think for you. Only you can think for you. Okay, and now they're invading us with chips and stuff. They're trying to recreate how we think. That's an abomination of life.
Awful.
Okay, they need to stop.
No chips in my brain for me, thank you. I'll pass.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you imagine
Dolly,
having your brain hacked?
yeah. Did you talk about, and correct me, Talata is a ship that's alive, or has a ship that's alive?
Talata is a 5th dimensional entity that indwells a craft to come here and work with us. The craft is not Talata. Talata is Talata. He's indwelling it like it's his body, its temporary body, because he's not a corporeal being.
Yeah, we are not our body.
Yeah.
That's
He's
one of the
craft.
principles of Robert Monroe.
But
we are more than our body.
It's him working as it is his body. Yeah. That's why they're trying to find people who can do that psychically, work with a machine like that, because they have them. They've, pulled them after they've crashed or whatever. They've, captured a couple of craft that are still aware. They're still being indwelt. They're looking for somebody who can fly them. They try to get somebody here to fly them, but they're not advanced enough to do that. It takes a lot of ability to run one of those craft with a 5th dimensional entity on board, and it takes both to run it. He can run it by himself without me, but I'm doing things with him for humanity. Okay, that's how that is. It's a symbiotic relationship I have with them while we're on board, because I'm helping them.
It's all about psychic ability, and one of the best things you can do to develop your psychic ability beyond meditation is astral projection.
Yeah, or remote viewing, because my remote viewing ability is what's key in my ability to communicate with that craft and work with it.
All right, let's take 10 minutes to talk about remote viewing a little bit. So explain to folks, you could start, Preston, and then we'll go to you, Dolly. What does it mean to remote view?
Remote viewing is exactly like an OBE in that it is a natural talent. And like lucid dreaming or astral projection, it is a form of that. I would call it a minor form of astral projection, in that you are not, separating from your body. And even when you're astral projecting, that's a misnomer, because you're basically just transferring your consciousness a little bit. We're just one body, and that includes the astral, the etheric, and all of that. It's all one thing. But remote viewing isn't, I think, honestly, a little easier, because this is something that you can instantly do. And most people will have flashes of this all the time. Like, you'll come around a corner and you'll see a police car, and you were like, oh, I saw that. I saw that before it actually, it's kind of like looking around a corner. It's a natural human ability of our own consciousness, especially if there's something that we're needing or in fear of or attached to in some way.
Isn't that intuition, though?
No, not at all.
It's like that. It's
no.
I would say it's related. Yeah. All these things are connected.
Those are byproducts of what that is, but it's not what that is. Remote viewing gets a bad rap just by calling it that, because it's like people see your mind looking through some kind of spiritual or psychic thing through binoculars and going there. No, you are interdimensional. Okay, your consciousness is interdimensional, and your consciousness can see anywhere in the universe beyond what your physical mind can see at any time. Okay, it is the most basic psychic, and that's where it's basic, ability you have, because you're already conscious. Remote viewing is the awake position of knowing what is happening in other places, that you can send your consciousness while you're awake, because your physical mind and your consciousness are now 100% talking to one another. It's like, I am my physical mind, my consciousness. I'm operating as one. Okay. and your mind leaves, your spirit stays with the body. Okay, it's your consciousness that is now moving out. It's easier than OBEing because you're not dragging your ethereal body with you when you do it. Okay, you're just taking pure consciousness and going out. ET sees everything as the all mind. Okay, it is 100% aware, connected, sees everything all at once. That's remote viewing in its purest ability and form. So when I remote view, the first way I learned how to do it was they said, you have to learn how to realize that your consciousness is not part of this, not part of that, not part of that. It is always on your in source. Okay. So they taught me to hold my hand out and put my consciousness in the palm of my hand to see my mind, my consciousness land on my hand. Well, it took me a month, literally a month of off and on, trying to see myself in the palm of my hand from that perspective, 360 degrees, all the way around, 100% conscious. And what I saw was, at first I saw a pinpoint of light, and then it dimed out into this big blue ball in my hand. And what the connection was is that I'm more than myself. I went from being this physical being to being the entity sitting in the palm of my hand. And what I saw was everything all at once. Okay, that's what that movie's all about. Everything all at once. Okay, I heard things, I saw things. I was like, oh. Then I had to learn how to control the input from it. I had to learn how to go into the singularity of self and protect myself from everything coming at me, because your consciousness can be vulnerable to that here. Okay. The next thing I learned how to do was go anywhere in this world, anywhere. I was given targets to go to. That's why Russell Targ, do that. Okay, you figured that out. We have to confirm or deny our ability with this. It's like walking. I know I'm walking because I'm walking. I'm going from here to there on my feet. Okay, same thing.
Yeah, what a thrill it is when you realize, oh, you did it. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I remote viewed an orange in Australia. It was so cool because I got it right. The guy had we were playing together. He put it on his dryer, and I'm like, oh, all I'm seeing is an orange, maybe a lemon. I think it was an orange.
Right.
I was not sure if it was a lemon or an orange, but hey, pretty close, right?
Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah.
So we see these people drawing, right? Like they connect and then they draw. Do you need to do that to draw it out? Like
no,
what you're doing?
No, because you can communicate verbally and emotionally. What you do is you get up, like if you're in your house, you got 4 people living in your house. Everybody gets to play this game. Okay. And spend the weekend doing this. Somebody goes into another room, one person at a time. At first, you don't want too many people thinking about it at once. It confuses you when you're first trying. You go in a room and you set something up and you stare at it. Okay. Now the person who's doing the remote viewing is way across the house on the other part of the house in the meditative state, conscious state, and they're sending their consciousness into that room to look. That's the target, the room. Okay.
Right.
It's easier to know the target before you can conceive of the target. These are 2 different things. Okay. Conceiving the target is a lot harder, and it's a lot harder to prove. Okay. So we're not going to go there. Y'all going to learn how to do this the easy way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about it. You give yourself 15 minutes. Don't do it any more than that. At the end of 15 minutes, you either got it or you don't. Okay. And then the person, you walk to the door of the room, still closed, and you say, this is what I see. You're communicating through the door, and you're either right or you're wrong. Okay. If you're right, open the door so you can connect to it visually yourself. Go, ooh, I did that. Okay. That's proof. You're proving to yourself that you just walked mentally into that room and did it. Okay. And everybody takes turns. It's better than Jeopardy. It's better than anything else you can do. It's fun. Okay.
But you don't want to let your beliefs override what you're looking. Don't try to interpret things. You know, if you see shapes, name the shape. Don't try to say what it is.
Right.
Because that's where you start to, overlay your own beliefs.
What if you keep getting it wrong and get disheartened? What do you do? Just keep trying?
Then the person who's sending you the message is the problem, not you. Okay. They're not joining with you, and they have to be made to understand that everybody in the house needs to understand that we are going to connect to one another, that we are going to enjoin our minds together to see this. Okay. So that I planted it here. I created it for you to see. And I know what it is myself. I'm drawing you into this scene and you're
Gotcha.
looking at it. Okay.
Yeah, and it can also depend on your ability to visualize, because
Yeah.
that is psychic ability of all kinds really does depend on that.
Right.
Again, this can be sounds too. You know, it doesn't have to be visual. It can be sounds or smells or touch.
Can you remote the future?
No, absolutely not. You can have, now this is where intuition comes in. You can have moments where if your consciousness is going to warn you about something in the future coming up that's personal to you, that's going to warn you. Now, everybody has on this planet the feeling of something's coming, something's happening. It's big. We all know huge changes are coming. This is consciousness that's all together. We're all talking to one another, whether we know it or not, and we're broadcasting to one another. And that's an intuition that's on heightened alert. Okay. That's us warning us. Okay. That there are bad players or something's happening. Okay. That's a different type of psychic thing. Your second stage of remote viewing is this. You have to do it for yourself. You pick a target yourself. Okay. But you have to be able to get to it or have somebody show up within an hour of the remote view to verify whether you saw it or not. This is not them transmitting to you. This is you actually going there and seeing it, okay? That's the second stage. Now, what you do is you pick a space somewhere in your town nearby, you know, minutes, and somebody can get to it, and they can photograph it, okay? Take a photograph, because you're trying to prove it, and a photograph is worth everything in this situation, okay? Okay. And everybody's got cell phones, so we can send stuff back and forth to one another. So you remote this place, and that's when you mentally draw a picture of what you saw. You attend to everything. You become the observer. Okay, this is where observational skills are key, because you see everything for what it really is. Drop all illusion, everything. You're focused into what you're actually looking at and seeing. And then somebody, a few minutes later, you say, "Okay, I'm done. I know what I saw," and they go to the spot, take a picture of it. Before sending it to you, they say, "Okay, what did you see? What are you looking at?" And then you tell them, and they will either confirm or deny. And then they could send the picture to you to give you a visual of what you did or didn't see. Remote viewing happens in stages, okay? And I want to warn y'all about this. Sometimes it's blurry. Sometimes it looks like stick figures. Sometimes it looks like a pencil drawing, and that fills itself in. The more you do it, the more strong your ability to send the visual to your physical mind.
Practice.
Yeah, and I would just remind people that Dolly trained with the ETs on how to do this. So what she's saying is that, you know, comes from people who've actually learned how to do this. And she did it as a very young girl when she was taken to an air base to be tested by this, and could read the cards out of a deck and so forth. So she knows what she's talking about. Yeah. And I've done it. You know, I'm lying in bed, and to me, I'm at a much more beginning stage with it. But it's like having a camera that I can't control, and it's just it's at ground level, and then it's flipping up, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm walking around the house looking at things, and I'm like, oh, but it's cool because you're seeing it.
Right.
And it's like your eyes are open, but you're lying in bed. And it's like having a camera is what it's like for me.
Right. I want to tell you something about how ET uses this ability, okay? It's not just becoming one with the entity on board this craft and seeing everything as he sees it. I have to go to places, all right? And when I was training, I don't fly anywhere that I haven't been there before. They've had 1 billion years to know where everything is in the universe, and they do. And so my training was they take us to that point. I get the visual and the frequency of it. You see, I hear frequencies all the time. I have synesthesia. I see numbers as colors and sound, and frequencies are that to me. Okay. And so I would go and see it. I know the frequency. I know the frequency of your brain. I can hear you. I know what your frequency is. Okay.
Yeah, this is how you can visit anyone out of body. Once you met them, boom. I did it to Dolly.
Your frequency, I can tune in on you in seconds. And once I know that frequency and I've been there, then I can fly to it on my own. I know what I'm looking for. Sometimes ET plants frequency markers because there's a lot of us, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of newbies, and sometimes it just helps to have the markers, okay?
Sure.
When they're triangulating things, through the universe. Space-time breaks down because they're going interdimensional, and it's easier to triangulate where you're going and how you're going to get there. Okay, so they use frequency patterning. Okay, that's what
We
that.
all need to learn how to do this. The world would change so much. It's,
Oh my gosh.
you know, people sometimes like, oh, I don't want precognition. It's scary to
Oh
me.
no.
Don't do psychic readings on me. Don't look at something.
Yeah.
No, this is okay.
I tried
We're
to
all
remote
one.
too. I tried once and it was a disaster. That I did it with like some guy on YouTube and I was completely off mark and I just gave up. I figured.
Do it. Make it in your house. Get your daughter to do it with you. Say, let's play these games. Get a friend who lives near you and say, let's do this. It's better to do that than sit and playing a stupid video game where you're mindlessly doing tripe, and when you could be doing this for yourself.
Well, next time we talk, we're going to delve more because I've got a lot of questions on remote viewing to ask you guys. But I want to wrap up and ask you, we've had questions, and Preston, Dolly, I don't know if you caught a lot of them, but I'd like to take a minute or two to address them and then possibly ask you guys what you're working on, because I know you've got this book that you're still working on and everybody's asking in the chat. So let's take it from there. Did you guys see any questions that you want to address? I know, Preston, you're usually good at picking them out.
Yeah, I let him do that.
I caught the ones I really wanted. I haven't seen any. I've been too gripped on what Dolly is.
Yeah, me too.
So,
freaking awesome.
I'm not sure I saw any questions, but if someone wants to reprint them.
If you guys want to repost a question, maybe, of course, we love you guys. And I just want to make sure that, if anybody has a question, just repost it and they'll answer. But in the meanwhile,
I got one. What
Yeah.
is the difference between remote viewing and bilocating? Bilocating is a part of what remote viewing is. If I send my consciousness out, I usually show up like a blue ball. That's what I look like. That's my energy signature right there. Okay. But I am able, after all these years and all the practice at it, to show up and look like I'm physically in the room with you, solid as a brick, and can affect your environment. I can shut doors, open windows. I can slam the floor. I can throw things off of ledges, and I can touch you. I can do all kinds of things, and I'm still in two places at once. I can do it consciously. I can be talking to this person and bilocating my consciousness over here. I can split that way. Wow. And I don't do it on purpose. Sometimes it just happens to me, and I keep asking myself when I was younger, why is this happening? And it's because I had a desire, because something drew me to this person and I needed to get there right now. And I just, and they'll say, man, you were here. Sorry. And what did you see? And I'm like trying to get them to explain to me how they felt about what they saw, and what, I know what I said. I want to hear you say it. Do you remember what I said? Okay. And I've done, like, I did it to Preston. I showed up in his room one night. I wanted him to clearly see me. I was bilocating to him, remote viewing it. Okay.
How'd that turn out, Preston?
It was cool. I had OBE to her, and she saw me when she was awake, and I'm OBE. And then I wake up because my room's filling with light, and there's Dolly, and she's blazing in this beautiful golden light. My room filled with light. It was very cool. And once I'm just sitting there watching TV, and I'll be darned if someone doesn't pound on the floor right in front of me. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't see her. but
I was trying to get him to call me. Sometimes I'll dial his phone and you don't answer it. I'm like, and I wanted him right now. So I hit his floor as hard as I could.
And that woke you up, right? So we have a question from Poetic Poems. Preston, are you writing a book that's not a follow-up, something new?
Always. Yeah, I am doing Symmetry 2. I'm on page almost 100 now, so that's finally coming along. I am going to do another one about my out-of-body experiences, which technically is a follow-up, but it's all new experiences.
Yay. I can't wait for that.
From 2001 onwards, so that's 25 years almost of new experiences. But yeah, another one on UFOs, one on the supernatural, one on psychic abilities. Some of my books went out of print. I'm going to get those out again.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on, but right now I'm focusing on just getting Symmetry 2 out. We've got a title for it. I'm not going to give it out yet.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you got the title?
Yeah, I'm not going to say. And Dolly, if she wants to, she can, but I'm not going to do it.
I would protect it. Protect it.
Yeah, but I just reread it. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
I know you guys are working hard on that.
Yeah, it's been a long road because my YouTube channel is so much work. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we're doing the Lightgate too, so it's like, oh, he's like trying to get episodes out, and we're doing this and that and the other, and then we do with other people. And this last year we traveled like crazy, and now we're going to just stay home and do all this stuff here. And
oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. I love you both dearly. And we're going to have a part 2 to this because I have a lot more, like I said, on remote. My dog knows when I say goodbye because he always comes up and puts his head on my lap. They're so smart, these dogs. It's crazy.
Right.
Look at him. He knows. But yeah, I'm going to reach out to you guys. I know you guys have a busy schedule, but we'll get you back in soon to do a part 2 to this. Love you both dearly. And thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Love you very much.
And everyone in chat, love you.
Yes, thank you everyone in the chat.
Good night.
See you guys soon. Thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Preston. Well, thank you all so much. It's always a blessing being here. We love you guys. We really do. Your questions. And again, if we missed any, you can always email Preston. I'm sure he'd be more than happy, and email Dolly. They'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But it's Friday. Have a blessed and beautiful and wonderful weekend ahead. And we will see you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. We're definitely going to be live on Thursday and Friday of next week. I'm not sure about Wednesday. I might have a replay. But check social media. You can always find out what we guys are doing, Preston and Dolly included. Check the Facebook, check the Twitter, check around. And thank you all so much. Love you all dearly in the chat and everyone out there. And of course, a big, huge thanks to United Public Radio and Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network as well. And we're going to continue this, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. See you all soon. Bye-bye, guys.